Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of HT, a Third Culture Kid. This is episode 42. This was a fun episode. I guess all of my podcast episodes, they're all fun for me. In this episode, like many of my other episodes, I'm saying episode too much. Like many of my other conversations, John joins me, but we're also joined by another guest, another good friend of mine. Her name is Rachel. That's her pseudonym. And us three Koreans band together in this episode to talk about dating in Korea. But then we also just mix in our own personal opinions and perspectives on dating. So we'll share our own like red flags, our own green flags. And yeah, that's what we talk about in this episode. Really just three Koreans' perspectives and thoughts on dating, pretty much. There are some like air pockets / audio issues in this podcast episode, so I apologize for that in advance. But otherwise, it should be an enjoyable episode. I mean, I enjoyed it. But yeah, I guess that's biased. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. And we're on the record. Welcome to another episode of HT, a Third Culture Kid. Today I have John, who's a regular, always a pleasure having him. And then Rachel, this is her second time on the podcast, so very excited to have her back. And today we're going to talk about dating in Korea, although digressions are welcome, but that'll be our central topic. Yeah, how are you guys doing today?
Hi.
Hello.
I hear it's super hot and humid in Korea.
Very, very.
Yeah. How are you guys managing the heat? Just by fans?
Air conditioning.
Air
Yeah.
conditioning?
Air
Yeah.
conditioning every second.
Every second. Wow.
Yeah.
I even
Good.
bought a new one like a couple weeks ago.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Yeah, like they made those new like ones that you just kind of like latch onto the windows, so it's cheaper.
Oh, it's a
Good.
mobile unit, but it latches onto the windows.
Yeah,
Oh, I see.
because there's only like air conditioning. I only have like air conditioning in like two of my rooms in our house. So like if I'm in like another my home office area doesn't have air conditioning, so I couldn't do it. I was like, oh my god, I need something. So
Wait, 그럼 그게 so how is the monthly bill when you
it's
guys
actually
have air
cheaper.
conditioning?
No, overall.
Oh yeah, how much
Overall,
do you guys
it's
spend on air conditioning?
I don't know. Like I'm not sure what the average is.
Yeah,
But
me neither.
when I lived alone and like used air conditioning, kind of on a daily basis, it was like 50 to 60 a month on average. And then if I used it like
5만 원, 6만 원.
5만 원.
근데
It's not cheap, but it's not that expensive.
if I like turn it on like all night, like for a couple days straight, then it goes over like $100 something. But I'm kind of stingy in that manner.
Yeah, it's the balance of do I freeze to death or do I want to spend a few more dollars?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a hard dilemma. We don't value our lives as much as we think.
Yeah. So in those cases, I was like, yeah, I think going to the office is better because it's always so much more cooler.
Oh, 그치, that's free. Yeah, cool. Well, let's also just introduce ourselves a little bit. So I go by HT here.
Oh, really?
Third Culture Kid. Yeah, the HT Dan. I'll just mix that up. But
Okay.
HD.
HD.
yeah,
High
and
definition.
yeah,
Sorry.
sure. High definition. That works. Thanks, John, for that unnecessary elaboration. And then I know John since all the way back in middle school, and we've been friends since. I actually know Rachel all the way since elementary school. Actually,
boy.
we lost touch for a very long time, and then there
Yeah.
was a time where like she came to visit California, and then since then we kept in touch.
맞아.
Yeah, I just introduced you guys to like on your behalf, but do you want to like say again like one or two sentences, John, and then Rachel will pass it over to you, Rachel, after you introduce yourself, John. 2 sentences maybe.
Okay, yeah, I mean, there's nothing really much else to say after that. I guess on the topic, I guess I should say.
When you introduce yourself, like add in
Yeah.
like a dating experience, like resume.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
So I mean, I've dated quite a bit before, but not in the recent time. I don't think I've gone. Okay, I've had a couple dates the last couple months, but I don't think I've had a.
Really?
yeah. 그냥 소개팅 kind of
You
stuff.
didn't tell me. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
didn't
So
tell me you have
so I-
Rachel you're dating episodes.
야, 근데 이게 I didn't have a girlfriend for like over almost a year and a half now, or maybe
Wow.
yeah. So it's my dating stuff may be a little outdated.
Okay. Great
Okay.
intro.
Yeah.
All right, Rachel. What about and Rachel? When you introduce yourself, can you like microphone 좀 입 가까이
Oh,
like
okay.
close
Can
to
you
your?
hear
Oh,
me
that's
now?
better. That's better. Yeah, that's a
Oh,
little bit
okay.
better. Oh,
Oh, okay.
잘해.
So like, I'll introduce myself
Uh-huh.
like John,
Uh-huh.
based on the topic. Yeah, I think I also went on a date, like, I don't know, maybe 1 years ago.
Uh-huh.
It's been a year since I've been in a relationship, but like I
Uh-huh.
had a very small dates since then.
One date. One date since then.
Yeah, like 1 or 2 dates per person.
Uh-huh.
It's like a
Per
소개팅.
person. Wait, what?
No,
말이야?
no, so it's like a 소개팅, like John did.
Oh, I see. One person. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago or something.
Yeah.
yeah,
I
it
don't
sounded
understand. What do you
weird.
mean one per person? So
No,
you
like,
had like
you
multiple
go to
meetings?
yeah, like maybe
Okay.
not in a row, but usually when you get a sogeting,
Okay.
you can at least meet 1 or 2 times,
Yeah.
right? And then
Wow.
yeah,
One per
so
person. What is this per capita kind of measurement for dating? One per
Oh, is
person.
it different in the States? Like when we do 소개팅 here in Korea, like
Uh-huh.
blind dates, like
Oh
it,
yeah, that's good definition. 소개팅 is
yeah,
a blind date in Korea.
yeah,
Yes.
blind dates.
Yeah.
I think it lasts like three 만남. How do I say 3 dates
yeah,
until
3 meetings.
dates.
you
Yeah.
get into a relationship between two people.
So after 3 dates, oh, we're already getting into this. So after 3 dates, you're in a relationship with a person.
No, I think that's like the
Average,
average
yeah,
time you meet before you decide, oh yeah, we should keep meeting, or good luck on your future dating life. Like, I think we're not
Oh,
really that suitable for each other, kind of thing. At least that's been my
that's
experience
like a
with
custom.
yeah.
like a
Oh.
unspoken
Oh, I
custom
see.
thing.
So that's why Rachel just said one per person because she didn't reach that like watershed mark of three per person.
Yeah,
Wow,
맞아.
we just go like we want 3 dates with this person. We don't go like three per person. It's like not that mathematical. It's not like that methodical.
Man, it sounds so weird.
well, 들어보니까, yeah, once
I
you
want to
hear it, it's a
take it
little.
back.
No,
Okay.
no, that's funny. Three per person. Yeah, dude, you have to be very methodical with your dating. It takes a lot. I mean, that's the time that you're spending. That's a
It
very
is, it
important
is.
resource.
I don't know, but I don't think it really fits me because, like, you can't really know about the person in only 3 dates, you know?
Yeah, I don't think so either. Yeah, but that's the custom in
Yeah.
Korea. So if you were to think about like how many times you should meet a person before like you make it official, how many dates do you think is the ideal number?
I don't know, maybe like a month.
Yeah,
A
same.
month?
Yeah,
Yeah, but a month you can meet a person like 3 times in a month.
a month as much as possible within that month.
As much as possible. That's too much. I
No,
feel
but
like there's a
honestly, if you're at
uh,
that point where you're meeting that person as much as possible, it's already like kind of
it's already
you're
pretty
already fond
serious.
of that person, or at least interested.
Mhm.
So I guess that's a given at that point. But
Mm-hmm.
I see. Well, okay. So my question to start, I want to ask by like person. So we have like Rachel representing the girl's perspective in Korea, John representing the guy's perspective in Korea. Not to say like John, you're the archetype of like male in Korea.
I doubt it.
Probably not.
Yeah,
Which should be a good thing. Compliments to you. Don't take it the wrong way. And
I
then
will.
Rachel as well. Who on behalf of the girls in Korea, but maybe not the typical girl in Korea. I don't think so, based on what I know about Rachel. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's the perspectives we'll be taking on. And the question is, I guess I'll first start with Rachel, and then it'll be the same question for John. But when you're on a date, like what do you look for in a date? Like what are the green flags for you?
Oh, green flags.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing for me is like how much I enjoy the conversation with the person,
Uh huh.
like how fun it is.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if the conversation is not fun and I'm not having any like meaningful time from it, like I don't think there is a connection between me and the person.
Uh huh.
So that's the most important thing. And the second important thing would be I don't know if I should say this, but like whether I see that person as a man.
That's okay.
You
Wait, were
guys
you
get it,
implying
right?
something more? Like someone you could be physically attracted to,
Yes,
or
yes, yes,
oh,
exactly.
okay. I
I
see.
think
I
it's
see.
really important.
Yeah,
Well
no,
If
said. I
not,
that
think.
why would you go on a date? You would just be friends, right?
Yeah.
true,
Right.
true.
No, I agree. I
Yeah,
agree. Sometimes I think I say like a partner or girlfriend is for me is like your friend, but someone you can have sexual relationships with.
yeah.
Yeah. It's simplifying it, but I mean that sometimes is a differentiator. Anyway, so those are the two things.
Mhm.
Someone you can have fun with chatting, and someone you can see as someone you're physically attracted to.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. And then the counter question to that, same to Rachel, and then John, I'm probably gonna ask you the same thing. But so that's what you look for. But what do you think girls in Korea generally look for in guys and dates?
I think it's
It's the same.
basically the same thing. Yeah, like how
Really?
much
Okay.
fun you have with the person and like whether you can kiss the guy. I think that is the like criteria of whether you're physically attracted to the person. When I talk with my friends,
Uh
whether you
huh.
can kiss him is the like the criteria.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm learning a lot of new
Yeah, yeah.
information.
We're
So
taking notes. We have our
this is
notebooks
I'm
out.
like taking notes. This is really helpful
Yeah.
stuff.
Wait. So John, I want to wait. So here, the question to you, it's a little bit different actually. Now that I thought about
Mhm.
it, in your experience, do you think that is what the girls are looking for when you go on dates with them,
No,
Mm,
but I think that's a basic. I mean,
based on your
requirements.
experience?
Yeah, it's yeah. I see that being a solid criteria. I mean, if you're dating someone, or even if just for like a day or two, it's better to meet and talk with someone that's you could have a conversation with, like be it fun or maybe something serious. That would be more preferable. So I think that's the same criteria for men as well.
For men as well. No, but I was
Yeah.
gonna ask, with what Rachel just said, like when do you think that's what girls look for when you go on dates? Is that like your perception? Like, oh yeah, girls seem to be looking for this stuff when I go on dates with them.
On the
Because I
in the baseline,
yeah.
yeah, I actually think I
Oh, you
agree.
think you
Yeah,
agree?
yeah.
Interesting.
The the ability to hold a conversation
Uh
mhm.
huh.
is, yeah, it's very commonly I think looked for during dates, at least
Uh huh.
from the ones I've gone on. They were like very into if this person could hold a decent conversation. So it was like, yeah, there's
Mm,
I think that's a big factor.
I see.
It's
All
full,
right.
and it goes both ways too. So
Got it.
yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. So I asked like a kind of a follow up question, but to ask the same question, is that so? Same thing for you? Is that what you look for in dates, or is there something different than what Rachel said
So
that you look for in dates?
like nowadays, yeah, definitely. The whole conversation thing is has a much more weight to it. But honestly, when I was younger, it was just like, is she a girl? Then yes, kind of thing. But nowadays, the whole getting to know the person, can I connect with them, has become much more important than the visual aspect. Not to say that isn't a not to say that isn't something that
I
I
see. So
look
you
at.
would date a girl maybe if you can't imagine kissing her, you'd still date the girl if you guys have like amazing conversation.
I never
oh.
even thought about the whole kissing part. So it's kind of weird. I never
I
asked
doubt
myself.
it, John.
Yeah, yeah, no, I don't think so. I've never asked myself, no, like, would I kiss this person? But like,
I
a
see.
lot of the times, I think my answer would be like, sure, why not?
Oh,
Sure.
maybe,
Why not?
maybe my criteria is a little low.
Oh, okay.
interesting. None of you
Interesting.
guys seem to mention like thinking about the future
Oh,
in
yeah, no,
dating.
okay.
Like, do you
So,
guys? So that sounds like if you guys date, you guys are not necessarily thinking about like, oh, am I going to get married to this person? Because you guys
so
didn't mention anything about the future there.
like, this is like speaking in like purely like baseline, probably for a lot of people. The whole conversation, are they like, at least, can I be physically attracted to them? That's like undeniable almost in any
Mhm.
situation for men and women. I
Uh-huh.
think the whole thinking about the future thing happens a little more around, especially more around our age, like mid to
Yeah.
late 20s.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Like when I was in like when I first came to Korea, that had no play in my mind. I didn't give a crap for my future. I was like, oh my
Yeah.
god, this girl's pretty and she's funny. I love her,
Right.
right?
Oh,
But
You
then
I
change
love
with
her.
age.
Oh
nowadays
God.
it does play a part. Like how she talks or what she talks about or those kind of things. Like it does kind of I do think about like, oh, would I be comfortable spending my future with her kind of thing.
But I totally
Uh,
agree.
Mm-hmm. I see.
Like, if I have a blind date, like let's say my friend wants to introduce me her one of her friends,
Uh-huh.
and I decide to go on that blind date if I think that I see a future with him. You know, like what kind of job he has, and like um I don't know, like where he lives. 뭔가
Uh-huh.
like certain kinds of, how do I say, like 조건?
mm,
Material. No, not material. Like,
Uh,
criteria for a future like stuff, I guess.
yeah, I think it kind of has
Requirements
to,
almost.
like, yeah, requirements needs to meet in order to go on a blind date for me.
Yeah, same. Me too. Like,
Yeah.
so
I mean,
조건 like money and job, that sort of thing. Like
Yeah, yeah.
material kind of
Mhm.
I
requirements.
I
Okay,
think it's more
minimums, let's
like,
say.
yeah, job security would be like a minimum,
아,
I
그치.
see, I
even
see.
for me. Like,
그럼 so an artist would not quite fit that criteria for you.
Artist, yeah, never.
Never. uh, and that matters because of the ability to build like a stable future together and being able to provide for yourself and for a potential family. Is that
Yeah,
why?
because like I don't want to go on a date that has an ending that would last some time. I want that relationship to go on forever, like so that I can see a marriage, and that I can see that it's going somewhere. I
I
don't want
see.
to be a dead end relationship.
I see. But if
Uh-huh.
if he's an artist might have like a more fluctuating job,
Uh-huh.
that means that a stable future is
Uh-huh.
not in the books for you.
Yeah, if I were rich, I would have dated an artist guy. But since I'm not rich, I think I need a person that needs to like be secure and have a stable future with me, you know?
To be able to like pay rent together,
Yeah.
put food on the table, pay the
Mm-hmm.
bills. Got it,
What
got it.
about Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
HD.
16. Let me put that down. Wait. So the question for me is,
um
um,
like when you go on a date, what do you look in a girl?
yeah, I think very similar. I feel like I do have this weird. If it's just a first date, there are things that will like click with me. Like if that person has a sibling,
Mm-hmm.
like a sister or brother, then like, oh, I think this person is considerate, um, and that will click well with me. But I mean, like you guys said, good conversation, um, physical attractiveness. I think yeah, that's one too.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
What about the future thing?
yeah, but I think you guys are right. First, you have to build that. Like, if you guys don't even have a good conversation and not physically attractive, then it's probably that like those are the minimum requirements.
yeah,
So
they
Mm-hmm.
are.
only if you pass those, and you maybe think like about the future. But for the future thing too, I think I do think about it. I think I'm just of the mind that if like we can have a good conversation, we have great chemistry. And this is just some. I think for me also, do I see this person as someone that kind of can we can have this unconditional um like care for each other and
Mm.
affection for each other, like 조건 없이.
Oh.
어 그런 거 있으면, because I I don't want in a relationship where like, oh yeah, she likes me because I have this job or because
Oh.
I'm like really skilled in something, because 그게 I think I have to rationalize this, but I do want that. I think having that unconditional affection just means you have a secure emotional bond that will be able to get you guys through the
Mm,
tough times. 뭔가 if it's tied to a condition or characteristic to you, like too many, and that's
uh-huh.
like a very like tenuous characteristic,
Oh, I
then it's
see.
going to be very hard, I think, in life to be able to trust that your relationship will be able to get through like very difficult times and
Mm.
have that trust that this person is really there for you and not for something external to you. So
So
I think I look for that too.
a
Yeah.
quick question to HD. Let's say that this girl you met you met her for the first time, like you guys have a really great conversation and she's really pretty and like you want to kiss her. You have this like physical attraction to her, but like you later find out that she doesn't have a job and she's not looking for a job.
Uh-huh.
So maybe like if you guys get serious, you have to, I don't know, support her
Yeah, so it's gonna
economically.
be yeah, so it'll be a team effort. I think I do think about that too. It's gonna be a team effort. Like how much can I do, and how much
Mm-hmm.
does she do? And then when we put that together, when the sum of us comes together, will we be able to support each other? 그래서 so if I make enough to support both of us, then and we're happy, then sure, why not? But it has to be like the
Really?
it has to be the sum of us. Like me plus her will be able to
Uh-huh.
support each other.
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that part too.
Yeah, it doesn't matter
Like
as long as both of us as a team can support each other, in my
once
opinion.
you kind of think about it as like in a family dynamic, it's not
Mm-hmm.
like how much each other makes. It's just like 그냥 합쳐서 when you're both together, what do you make enough to like meet,
Yeah,
maintain your life? And if I feel like yeah, I could maintain my life and support both of us and be
yeah,
happy with her.
and be
That
happy.
yeah, and be happy.
Exactly.
That's the
Yeah,
part. Yeah.
yeah,
But there is a flash of doubt whenever these things do come up. Like when a girl was like, "Yeah, I don't really have a job right now," or like if their job security is a little low, there is that flash where you're like, "Oh, there is a
yeah.
little bit of worry about your future, like possibly
Mm-hmm.
building a secure future together." But I
For
still
me,
think
it's
there could be a really, you know, as they say, like deep love that just kind of transcends those
Oh.
requirements.
그치.
Not
There's
saying I've
always
experienced
a
it. Not saying I've experienced it, but I feel like there should be, or there could be at least.
yeah, and if you love a girl enough, then yeah, I think then you'll just see if the two of you guys can support each other. You won't like just put the burden all on her. I mean, of course, if she makes less than you like, and she doesn't want to work or whatnot, so the financial means is like entirely on you. There's a lot more pressure
Mm-hmm.
for you to do more as well too. So that's definitely going to be a factor. Um, but but like what John said, it's going to be very important that whatever you do and how you are in this relationship is something that you're happy about. So that
Yeah,
if you're fighting for this relationship and you're building for this relationship, it's something you can also enjoy in the process. And if you enjoy the process too, then I don't see why not.
fair.
Yeah, interesting. All right, so we've noted a little bit of a
Okay.
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we change your mind, Rachel, or are you still like, nope, we gotta have that minimum chokon, that condition?
Um, well, from you and John,
Uh huh.
I thought that the world is still a nice place to live in.
Although that being said, I did like
What do you mean?
reject the second date after like finding out that this person didn't have a job or wasn't looking for one. So I'm not
Oh,
saying,
really?
yeah, no, I'm not
Oh,
saying I'm
okay.
like always like that. But if I couldn't, like,
I
there's people
see.
that just click, and it's
Uh-huh.
worth that, more effort from your side too. I mean, I'm
Uh-huh.
not saying I mean everyone's worth the effort, but this special person is worth like extra effort. The extra mile thing.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
But if that's not the case and they don't really have the so quote unquote criteria,
Mm-hmm.
uh
then it's like oh, I'm sorry, I said it again.
huh. All
like
good.
HD like HD said in the beginning, it's
Uh huh.
still you're still spending time with this person, so it's a matter of you know
Yeah.
yeah.
Everything in the like every so here I have a few like sayings in my head. Every decision is a cost benefit analysis, and like yeah, I have a few other things, but yeah, every decision is cost benefit
Yeah,
analysis,
it's
and
definitely
spending
true.
time in a relationship is like that too. You can frame it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I
I
see.
see. So okay, so we're already going into this territory. So I'll start with John again. not John, but I'll switch it around. I mean, so John, um, we talked about like what are things you look for. What are like absolute red flags then? As
Oh.
you are dating in Korea, but also as you think like generally based on your experience and your friends, like what are their like red flags when would they go and date in Korea?
Um.
Like absolute red flags.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'm trying to think of some like in like a blind date situation where you don't know the person. Honestly, there aren't that many red flags. I mean, there's like the obvious ones where like they're really rude to like like the waiter or something. That would be a big, really really big red flag or something. But
I see.
I still give them like a benefit of the doubt, hopefully.
Uh-huh.
But when you're dating, what I noticed was 그 not being maybe it might be a pet peeve, but not keeping promises. Not even like the big ones, like always being late or something.
Uh-huh.
That was a kind of a red flag for me. And like relationship with their friends and like the people around them they have, that
Uh-huh.
was like something I really looked into. Like I had no, see, I have to like call back experiences, so I feel like it's might not be a good thing. But I remember maybe not be someone I dated, but there was this girl that had a really really bad relationship with her parents,
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
and like whenever we were talking, like she was just like shit talk about her parents a lot. So that was kind
Oh.
of a red flag for me.
I
And
see, I see.
I'm not really in the position to blame her because like I guess maybe her parents did deserve that, but like relationship with people that are already close to her is something I would really pay attention to.
I
Mm.
see.
Yeah.
I see.
Oh,
What
another
if
one is the other one. I mentioned this before to HD. It's like
What?
if they really don't like dogs, I don't think I could. Because I really like dogs, and I had this date with the girl who was like so annoyed that I had a dog. It's like, oh, why would you raise a dog, kind of thing. So that was also
Really?
yeah.
you
But,
have uh-huh.
so that was a red flag for me. I was like,
Well,
I
one
didn't even know that was a red flag, but ever since then, it was like, okay, that's a red flag.
you started off like a conversation with like I don't know if I have red flags, and you listed like 4 red flags.
Yeah. Oh, look, on the first date basis, I don't think I'd like consider a lot of things red flags, but when I'm actually dating the person,
Yeah.
like a lot of things would come up as red flags, like because especially if you see repetitively, like when I
Yeah.
first meet them and they do something I don't like, I'm not gonna go like, oh my god, I can't date this person anymore. But
Interesting. I feel like red flags I can see your I think I'm like you, John. I don't know if I have too many red flags, but I feel like the value of red flags is very high given the amount of time it can save you. Like, oh, that person hit a red flag. I can move on. I have saved myself some time. So there's definitely something very efficient about red flags. You
Mhm.
didn't mention anything about Wemo. Like, is there really no red flags for like
Oh,
appearance wise?
그러게.
Oh,
Interesting.
uh,
yeah.
I mean, okay, my Wemo is like it's. I don't think I've
Be
ever
careful
like
what you say. Be careful what you
yeah,
say.
okay. So, I thought if you remember, like even in high school, like I didn't really put that big of a criteria in like Wemo.
No,
Really,
you
John?
did. I
I
thought
mean,
I
I
thought
did.
you
Like,
had.
okay, my point was
I thought you
nowadays
had a
at least,
Wemo. Oh,
I had a type. I really have a type, specific type.
Oh, what's
uh-huh.
your type?
I really like the 약간 tannish, like tomboyish, kind of like sporty. But that type
Really?
kind of died
Oh.
out as I grew up. Point being, nowadays my only criteria is if she's, oh, I feel really bad for saying these things. Like, as
What?
long as she's like lighter, like weighs less than me, and like 그냥, it's not really like as long as it looks like she takes care of herself. I think is the minimum criteria.
Wow.
Okay.
Because for a
I
girl
see.
to be heavier than me, it means she really let herself go. Because I'm pretty chunky, So
Got
I
it.
feel bad
Uh,
saying this because I'm pretty fat too. But
No, it's
that's
okay.
my point being, I'm
Yeah.
fat, so.
I see. So someone okay who's lighter than you, indicating that she takes care of herself. John, by the way, when you like breathe into your mic, it's like this like spurt of air that comes in that could be like
Oh, really? Okay,
yeah,
I'll
yeah.
put my mic like around my chin. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
that'll
it's
help a
good.
little.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry for the listeners who have to bear that for 30 minutes. Anyway, all right, Rachel, your turn. What are your red flags? Also, like, just feel free to pitch in like what you think Korean girls, when based on your friends and your experience, like are red flags for them.
oh God, I have so many red flags.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know how to list them all.
Oh, okay. List your like top 3.
Top three. Okay, it's
Top three.
basically mostly personality based. Um, how do I say Jose in English?
Like show offy kind of
Yeah, I really hate
braggy.
show offy, braggy
Mm-mm.
type of person.
Oh,
Like
I see.
like when he like shows off that he has a lot of money, or like I don't know.
Oh, interesting. 근데
그
you have a minimum 조건, but you don't want him to show off his 조건.
Yeah, it's a
Oh
it's a
yeah,
fine
show
it's a
offing
fine
is not
line.
permitted.
I
It's a
see. I
fine line
see.
between appealing
It's like
yourself and
like show me you're rich without telling me you're rich, kind of thing. That's what Rachel likes.
oh, but this is actually pretty common. I feel like I've heard this a lot from like a lot of different like girls before.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
I couldn't. That the funny thing I'll repeat this again. But Rachel was like, he's got to have some minimum 조건, right?
Uh-huh.
Because 어느 정도 he has to like display to Rachel that he has some financial means, aka 조건, right?
Oh,
So
question
there's
from
like
my
a
side.
fine line between like Jose and like just demonstrating and displaying that, I guess,
Oh.
right?
How would you demonstrate that you're financially stable without, Jose, like showing off? Like
Oh
what
wait,
would be a best way to do something?
wait, I didn't
We're
get it.
taking notes. 그래서 so you said a guy would have to like have minimum 조건, right?
Uh-huh.
And then you said like you don't like a guy when he does Jose,
Uh-huh.
like show offs. So how would a guy like tactfully and skillfully like demonstrate that he has 조건 without
Oh.
showing Jose?
Um,
Dating tips for all the Korean guys here.
well, like 그러게. 정말 it's a difficult question.
You girls are impossible sometimes.
But you have this feeling, like you sense like from a conversation, why he's
Uh-huh.
talking about it. Like let's say you're talking about like work at your company, like 뭐 이런 일을 하고 있어요. 뭐 이런 얘기를 할 때, like when you're talking about work, you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about work, but some guys they want to show off that they are, I don't know, for example, a lawyer, for instance.
I see. So if they say, "Oh, I'm a lawyer," that's a show off.
Oh
Although
no,
that's his real job.
no, there is this 뭐라고 말해야 되지? 뉘앙스가 있어.
그치. 너무 지나치게. Like
Oh,
if they emphasize too much that they're a lawyer, maybe like,
yeah, I
oh, like
get
since
that
I'm a
you're a
lawyer,
lawyer.
I'm, 그치.
Oh,
I got it.
그러니까 I don't know, from a conversation, like I think what he talks about is what he puts value on. I think that's what I believe. And then like if he talks too much about, I don't know, maybe money, or I don't know, 그런 것들에 대해서 너무 많이 얘기를 하면은, then I don't feel like that his values are what I value.
Got it. So the
Get
Jose
it?
comes out in like how much he talks about and how excited he talks about like different subjects.
I think it's
맞아.
not a matter of excitement. It's about maybe from what I just took from that was like how he presents himself. Like or you could go like, oh, I'm right now in my company. I'm working on a big project. It's been difficult, but like a Jose person may be like, yeah, I'm managing 40 dudes, man. They're below me, but they can't do shit,
맞아,
man. I'm getting so
그거야.
stressed out. These guys can't do
Wow.
crap. I have to carry them, kind of stuff.
그래,
I
그거야,
think that
그거야.
it's like it's I guess about how you package
Interesting. 그게 허세는
Noted.
그 이력서 like when you write your resume,
Yeah,
허세's a
yeah.
good thing though.
Yeah,
허세's a good
that's
thing.
for
Like you
resume.
want to say I managed like 40 plus people teams and led this team to
웃기네.
30% gains in profit. 그런 거 해야 되는데 I guess in
Okay,
dating it's the
Jose
opposite.
for resume for dating, no hustle.
Interesting.
Humble yourself.
Interesting. Yeah, interesting difference. All right, so that's red flag number 1. What is red flag number 2?
Number 2 is 갑자기 생각이 안 나네. Number,
Recall your
know.
past dates.
Past dates.
Recall the guys you eliminated and see why you eliminated those guys.
I don't know. What about you, HD?
Buy some time. Red flags for me.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I have some strong ones. Like
What?
yeah, for me it's like being self-absorbed.
나도, me too.
No, I really don't. If that's like a red flag for me. If they're very 이게 they maybe don't know they're self-absorbed, but it shows in their actions, kind of, and like what when they talk. Like if they, for example, maybe they made a mistake in a situation,
Mm-hmm.
but they made the mistake, but they don't understand why somebody else is reacting to them when they made the mistake,
Mm.
because they're so 집중, like concentrated on like their
What
view
they
and
do?
their
Okay.
feelings and how they're hurt a little bit. Um,
Ah.
yeah. So, but on the opposite side, if somebody's not self-absorbed, for me, that's like a huge green flag too.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're the complete opposite of self-absorbed, that's
What's
like
the
a huge
complete
green flag.
opposite of a self-absorbed?
Yeah,
What
I
kind
mean,
of?
you're asking me like to be a dictionary, but
No, like,
the
I really
opposite
don't.
word.
I
Yeah.
understand what a self-absorbed person would do, but I don't really get what a not self-absorbed person would do. Would they be like
It's like the first instinct isn't necessarily like
about me?
about,
About
yeah, about
others?
themselves. Yeah,
Oh,
it's about
okay,
others necessarily
okay,
too.
yeah,
Or they're
okay.
like immediately like self-reflective, kind of
Oh,
like,
okay.
oh, maybe I messed up here. Like you're not protecting your ego as much, or your image.
Okay.
뭐 그런 거. Uh,
Shit, I said it again.
we're okay. It means we're having a very friendly conversation. Yeah, but my girlfriend, I think, has that trait, like not being self-absorbed too. So I really
HD,
love that
but I
about
have
her.
a question. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't know, maybe like in the States, like
Uh,
they educate kids about self-esteem and how oneself is very important. 그래서
yeah.
like
어.
그런 것들이 어떻게 self-absorbed랑 좀 다를 수가 있지?
그게 self-esteem and confidence 뭐 그런 거에 관련돼 있잖아. Like self-esteem is like confidence, right?
Mhm.
You can be confident about your own abilities, but when you're thinking about a situation and your
Mhm.
optics, like how you see the world, if that revolves around you, that's
Mm,
self-absorbed. But if you're confident in your
Mm.
abilities to impact other people, to change society, to deliver on this project, that's you using your abilities to generate impact outside of yourself. 그치?
Mhm.
Or you're just confident in just your abilities. Oh, that's
I
different.
see. Uh-huh.
Self-absorption is more like perspective, how you see the world, but how you think like it revolves around you. Like your feelings
Mm.
tell you and your thoughts tell you like, oh, like something happened and that's
Mhm.
because of me, or something bad happened and that's not my fault necessarily. Like how dare that person like do that to me when it was actually the person itself making the mistake.
mm,
But I think that's kind of the difference. The way you
Okay.
see things is self-absorption kind of, and confidence is just your engine, your motor and engine in your own abilities. Does that make
Mm.
yeah,
sense?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. That
Yeah, I
makes sense.
get it.
Yeah,
I think yeah, that's a good character to notice in like a person you are potentially trying to date. I see why that could be a red or green flag
Yeah.
depending on the
yeah.
situation.
All right, so red flag. Wait, what was red? Oh, yeah. Red flag number two. You did you remember your red flag number two, Rachel, before
Me?
you turned the
Oh
question to
yeah,
me?
I totally remember from your comment.
Oh,
Number two is lack of uh 공감 능력. How do you say it in English?
empathy, lack of
Empathy.
empathy.
Yes, lack of empathy.
Oh,
I can't stand it.
mm,
So
uh,
like maybe I'm going through a I don't know a hard time at my work and I want to
uh-huh,
share it with my boyfriend and
uh-huh.
I tell him, my boss like told like criticized me about this today and I was really mad and then my boyfriend says something like this. Oh, but I
Uh-huh.
think you're wrong. I think you it's your fault that he told you about those things and I would be really mad at my boyfriend.
Got it. But what if it was really your fault though?
Um
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I
okay.
had a similar question.
How would one navigate that situation?
um well, I
I
think
have. We should act this out. John, why don't you play the role of being the person
Pointing out boyfriend. Yeah.
trying to point it out in a very
Oh, I'm good
empathetic
at
way.
this. I
In a
got in
very
a fight with my ex because of the same situation.
great.
okay.
Let's act. Let's. How would you? Yeah, let's say Rachel comes and goes like, okay, well, yeah,
Okay.
I'll just hand it over to Rachel, and then John, you can see what your response would be, and then Rachel
Wait,
will go like,
do
"That's a
I
good
go?
response."
Oh,
You're
I
my
try to make it.
boyfriend, John.
So I try to make a good response or like a
You're coming up with a
typical
good
guy
response.
response.
You're coming up
Okay.
with a good
Oh, good
response.
response. Okay.
Okay, good response. I'll try to come up with a good response.
Okay, John. I today at my work, I accidentally dropped a cup of water on my boss's table. And he got really mad at me, but I did it out of mistake, but I don't get it why he's so mad at me, and I'm really mad at him right now.
Right, John.
Well,
John.
I think you should just go drop another one on this like seat now, just to even things out.
That'd be a response.
Okay. Why? Wait. Why would he? Why would you? Why do you even need to like bring him water though? I don't think that's something you should have to do to begin with.
Oh, cause I needed to tell him something, and I was holding a cup.
Oh, okay, okay, I
Yeah, so
understand.
it was a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, everyone makes mistakes. I don't think it's like it's just dropping a cup of water isn't anything that's too detrimental to anything. Maybe your boss sounds like your boss overreacted a bit. So yeah,
Oh, okay. John was really sweet.
John was really sweet. Really? I don't know. I give John like a 4 out of 10 on that one.
I'll be
Oh,
honest. My honest opinion, if this happened,
yeah.
I'd be like, why the fuck did you make that mistake? That's stupid.
Oh my god.
That's a red flag for Rachel, John. That's
Oh
a
my
red
god,
card for
that's a
you, John.
0 out of 10.
No, okay, no. Like to defend the men's side of this,
Uh-huh.
I had a girlfriend that was very. She had a really stressful work environment. That part I really understood.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
And then she would come to talk to me about it, and then
Right.
I know I realized inside, and with hindsight, that she was just trying to seek
Mhm.
comfort, or like just like for me to understand, and just like, yeah, I understand, like that, like, yeah, you weren't wrong, I feel you, kind of thing. But then my immediate response at the time was to try to resolve her
Uh-huh.
problem. So I'll be trying to like
Yeah.
Mm.
navigate, like, no, I think this part, you should just go apologize and end this as soon as possible. But I realize that's not what she wants to hear. But then my immediate reaction,
Ah.
sometimes that does come out. So
Uh-huh.
this was something I actually fought a lot with my girlfriend before.
Oh, I see. I see. So you're
So yeah,
thinking like solve the problem instead of
yeah,
first.
because like in my immediate response, she just came with me to a problem, and then in hindsight, I realized I don't really have to solve the problem. I just have to like empathize with her about the situation and comfort her.
I
But
see.
my immediate
Mhm.
response is just, how do I make this problem go away for my girlfriend, kind of thing. So
Yeah.
it's in a good line of thought. Like I had good intentions, but like if you
Yeah.
think about it, it's not really maybe the first initial thing you should start off with. I mean, I learned my lesson. I'm
I
just
see.
trying to improve. My point being,
I see. I see.
it's hard
Yeah,
though,
I
man.
understand. I think that's sometimes my instinct too. Like
Yeah,
first you think like solve the problem because you think that's gonna help her too. But that's
yeah, I know. Yeah,
solving the problem doesn't always mean like looking like you're on her side. It just
Mhm.
yeah,
means like
yeah.
there are
That's where a
steps you
lot of
need
the
to take.
conflict comes up.
Yeah, there
Yeah,
are steps that you need to take, and then this will like acknowledge solve the problem.
because solving
Mhm.
the
Yeah.
problem a lot of time for, I feel like, guys, is diffusing a situation before it becomes a bigger problem.
And to
And then
Mhm.
protect
for
like a
yeah,
girlfriend
yeah,
too. Yeah.
and then that comes off sometime as being apathetic to what she's feeling, or
Yeah.
at times even going against what she thinks of, like, if she didn't do any wrong, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But I do
Yeah.
understand the uh female side of this too. Like,
Yeah.
I've been the receiving end of this too, so I realize that it's like a pretty crappy feeling. Like, I just kind of wanted you to hug me and just like say, yeah, everything's gonna be okay. But she was like, dude, you did wrong too. So I see why this is a
I feel
difficult thing to navigate.
yeah. I feel like
Mhm.
default answers if like some girlfriend comes out saying what Rachel did too, it would be like, how can I support you? Or do you want to talk about it? Like those should maybe be like our automatic responses as a guy.
Oh, 맞아. It's really
No.
true.
Like how
And
can what do you need from me? Or like, do you need to talk about it? Do you
Oh,
want to go
okay.
blow some air? Um,
mhm.
and then you like after like you show support, then you can talk about like solving the problem a little bit. Yeah.
It was so
Which
funny
I've learned
hearing
as well.
John's inner voice. Like, what?
Yeah. No, that comes
we
out a
all
lot.
have that inner voice. It's just
Everyone
like
has it. My inner voice is usually too.
there's a
Oh
time for
god.
it though. There's
Yeah.
a time for it to come out,
I've
I guess.
learned to filter my inner voice quite a bit.
Okay, so
Nice.
for in my defense, it was a very extreme case that I gave John. I know it was really irrational, but like maybe for girls, like they know that they did it's their fault and
Oh
they
no
know
no no
what to
no! It's
do.
not. It's not. No no, I don't think so.
No, but I agree with my first answer too. Like you're not like getting mad at someone just because they accidentally, which was clearly an accident,
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
spilling water is inappropriate in the boss's perspective as well. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's the girl's fault either in that
Yeah yeah
case.
yeah.
But
That's a
anyway,
dangerous thing to say.
Yeah.
They know it's their fault. Yeah. I don't think that's also. Who
and
knows? Yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
carry on. Yeah.
yeah, the girls know what to do. They have a solution, but like
Mm.
at the time they're talking to their boyfriends, they want to talk about their feeling, like how surprised and mad they were at themselves by stupidly dropping a cup of water on the boss's table. I think they like girls need like um emotional support from their
Uh huh.
boyfriend, you know?
Uh huh. I see.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think another common like reaction to that other aside from the so we've covered like the good response, like
Mhm.
I understand your feelings. Do you want to talk about it? Oh, everyone makes mistakes, those things. And then
Uh-huh.
there's the insensible response that a lot of
Uh,
dudes do, going like, "You are wrong. That's your mistake. Why would you make that?"
Oh, that's
Another
yeah.
thing, another thing I kind of found myself doing was I try to just make humor of the situation, like going, I spilled it on my boss's head before, so that's nothing, kind of thing. So, and sometimes that
uh
comes off as like dismissive. I've noticed.
Uh-huh.
oh
So yeah,
really?
yeah, people would think like, oh, you're just making fun of my situation, like
아, 그럴 수
or
있다.
you're like trying to
Yeah.
one up my
Uh,
situation, where when I'm just trying to like cheer them up or lighten the mood. But as you said again, that's trying to move aside from the direction that the girlfriend wants right now, when she just wants to be understood. So
Hmm.
yeah, this
맞아,
is a
맞아.
lot. I'm looking back on my actions a lot today. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah, to trip down memory lane.
Yeah.
To trip
Yeah.
down the histories.
I see why I got dumped last time.
Oh, because you said you're like that was your
My-
fault, dude.
no, I didn't say that. No. I did the second route where I tried to make light of the situation.
Oh, we tried to make light
Yeah.
of the situation.
Yeah,
Oh,
damn, yeah,
really?
man. That was not a good conversation.
I feel like sometimes it would go well for some girls. Like if like some guy going off of Rachel scenarios, you go like spilled it on his like desk. You should have spilled on his balls. That dude doesn't deserve any of your respect. What the fuck is wrong with that dude? 그렇게 했으면 maybe like I feel like some girls it would 통해. Like it would work with some girls.
It would also
That's
depend
it.
on
I
how
think it would
angry
work
she
with me.
is. It also depends on how angry or what the level of impact it is. Like if it's actually something really serious, obviously that would be
그치.
inappropriate. If
True,
it's like
true.
a situation that Rachel just said, I
Uh-huh.
think it would fly. But
Mhm.
Yeah. I guess you need a lot of like also emotional accuracy judgment. Like you need
Yeah,
to judge emotions in people well. That's a
dating's
skill.
hard. Oh damn, man, dating is so
One
hard.
mistake and you're out. One mistake and you can be out. Yeah.
What?
Uh I was saying, so when John said dating is hard, I feel like you
Mhm.
can make one mistake and then the relationship's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
진짜 그게 어려운 것 같아.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it can be hard. Um let's see. Oh yeah, I think what an important thing. So since we're talking about dating in Korea, like there's those customs that you go on dates. Like, oh, do you let the guys pay first, or do you like pull out the chair? Do you guys have desserts? Like those little like customs and practices in
Mhm.
dating. Are there like recommended, like must do, must uphold practices for dating in Korea?
I think this is for Rachel. I need to take notes again. So
I guess, yeah.
oh God, it's hard.
Like, does a guy need to pay? What's like the custom? Does a guy need to pay on the first date, or is it okay now to like split?
I think if you really want this date to go on well, and if you
Uh-huh.
really like this girl, I think you should pay for dinner.
Okay. Got
For
it.
boys.
For boys, okay. So guys, if a guy goes like, "Do you want to split?" That's probably gonna not end well for the guy.
Yeah, I think there would be no second date for that guy.
Okay, got it. What
Noted.
else? What else? What else
Um,
must a guy do? If a girl goes like, uh, yeah, what are some signs like a girl in a date like means like she's not interested in the guy? Like
When
does
she
she
offers to pay,
when she offers to pay?
it's
oh
not a
yes,
bad
yes.
sign
When
when
she
she goes
offers
like,
to pay, yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah. I heard that's a
Nah,
pretty bad sign. I've had that before too.
really?
It was. I was like, oh shit, yeah, it's a bad ending kind of thing.
Oh, interesting.
hmm What about you, HD? I'm really interested in the
Americans.
yeah.
Well,
Do
I
they
am.
really do Dutch pace?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm actually interested in this too. Yeah,
So, well,
like a first date scenario.
Yeah.
first date scenario. Let me think. I think it depends sometimes on the girl you're seeing. I feel like I've had first dates where we would split, but we would would still have like second dates. So that's happened
Oh,
before, I think.
like is it
Um,
general?
what do you mean, like beyond just me? Is it just you asking if like that happens generally?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Is it like a general custom in
I think
the
it's allowed
states?
though. I think it's okay to do that. It's not
Oh,
like so if they split doesn't mean like nobody's interested in each other. So it's
oh.
okay. Like, it can happen. The guy can pay too. I think it'll be
Mhm.
appreciated maybe if the guy pays. But even if you guys split the bill, that doesn't
Mhm.
mean like you guys are not interested in each other.
Mm.
So both scenarios are okay.
Mhm.
Um, yeah.
What else?
I feel like splitting the bill like is like one of like the top like very scrutinized moments in a date.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's like one of the more telling like indicators sometimes for a date, but it's also very culture specific.
Mhm.
What else? Um, I don't know if this is a big one, but if maybe some people might read into this, but if you have an opportunity to get dessert and
Mhm.
then like the girl or the guy says no dessert first, that
Mhm.
might be taken as a sign like I don't want to spend more time on this date.
Oh.
Oh.
Maybe that just might be me though. I don't think that's a general custom thing. I don't think that's a
Mm.
general custom thing. But like if you ask some like after you have dinner or something, like, oh, do you like want to go on a walk? And then a girl goes like, no, I have to get home or something. That's like maybe a sign that she didn't really have the best time.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think it's
yeah,
the same in
that makes
Korea
sense.
too.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that's pretty universal.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I don't know if
I think
what's
something
other.
that's a little. I mean, actually, I haven't really dated much as an adult in the U.S., so I can't really draw the parallel. But I guess you can assist on that part. I feel like something specific to Korea,
Uh
and this is
huh.
Mhm.
something I've talked to a lot of like kyopo or like foreign exchange students that's come over to Korea like
Mhm.
as an adult has been that there's so much more. I hate saying it like this, but unnecessary conversation.
In Korea,
Yeah, like
dating.
there's like you constantly have to be in contact with each
Oh.
other.
What do you mean, like texting?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
nonstop testing, like every 30 minutes, like, oh, what are you doing,
Uh
baby? Like, oh, I'm doing fine. I just got out of the meeting.
after
How
the
about
first
Mm.
you?
date. After the first
No, no,
date.
no, no, no. While you're
Oh,
dating as well.
oh,
Like,
while you're
and
dating.
sometimes like like I mean, it gets better as you're dating, but in like the initial stages of
Aja.
dating, there's a lot of unnecessary. It's really weird to say unnecessary conversation,
Uh-huh.
but
Uh,
there is like unhelpful conversation that just kind of stresses both parties out because you have to think about. I don't know.
you're like a constant watch of the
Yeah,
relationship, kind
yeah.
of.
Because then I've actually seen this. I've talked about this with a lot of. I mean, I've obviously talked about it with guys. I haven't really talked about it with girls, but I've talked
Uh,
about it with guys, and this has been a really common like occurrence.
So John, when you first go out on a date with a girl, do you text her every single day later?
Yeah, for a while. Yeah.
After the
Wow.
first date. After the first
Oh,
date.
after the first date?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
No, I try to like. It depends. Like if the conversation keeps going, then I don't mind keep going on with it as well. But there are moments where it's kind of obvious that this girl's trying to end the conversation and
Mhm.
like you go on with whatever she has to do. In
Mhm.
that case, I probably won't like force a conversation on it. But I
Mm.
do try to
Mm.
maintain a dialogue for a while. But then the reason I started doing this was because when I first came to Korea and when I first started dating, a lot of the uh feedback or like complaints that I've had was like I really don't contact them too like 연락이 너무 없다라는 거를. I
Oh.
heard that so much like you don't contact me at all. I was like, what? I contacted you yesterday, but then she was like, yeah, what about this morning? And so
What
this
about
kind of
this
turned into
morning?
it turned into this thing like I'm like, oh, okay, so this is something I have to do. But
Oh.
yeah.
Oh,
So is that a thing in the US too? Like,
yeah, that's my impression of Korea too. Like being a couple is like a much more prominent part of a person's lives. And there's
Mhm.
so many like couperties. Like that's not necessarily like a term that we use in the States. There's like a lot of
Oh.
more like couple specific practices that can consume one's time.
Mhm.
In the States, I don't think it's like that consuming or yeah, so like that texting, like constant texting too, I don't think that's generally something many couples or dating people would want, like this just torrid pace of being on constant watch for texting too.
Oh.
So I think that is a difference.
So
um
how many times do you guys text each other in a week?
if you're
me?
dating.
Oh, with the girl.
Like
I
when
thought you
you're
were talking
dating
about
with a
me.
girl?
Oh, you thought you were talking about John and me.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that was like once a month.
No.
No, when you're dating,
Mhm.
John, you go first if you have that number.
When I'm dating, I don't really have a specific. Yeah, that would also
Because
again.
it'd
This
be
was
very
this.
specific to a girl, but I guess it would range from like
Yeah.
it would not go. I think if you're like really serious or like you have really good great chemistry with a girl, you should
Mhm.
at least be texting her three, 2 to 3 times in a week, um,
Wow.
at
Okay.
least.
Okay.
Uh,
Is this like when you've just started dating or like you've dated for like a couple months now kind of situation? I feel like
I
they're
feel
kind
like
of different.
after the first date, it should be like at least if you just text. Maybe honestly, maybe if you just went after the first date, you should not go let it go like a week without having texted her at least once.
Oh
Ah.
wow.
Maybe,
Yeah, for a
yeah.
while I just text almost every single day.
For after the first date.
Yeah, I know. After
Okay,
like
all
after
right,
we started
all
dating, like,
right.
it's like constant texting for like a couple of
After the
days.
first date, wow, that's a
Yeah,
lot.
yeah, and
Rachel,
then after,
what do the Korean girls prefer here? That
yeah, teach me.
the
Oh.
This
girls
has been
date
like the
constantly after the
hardest
first date.
part of dating in Korea for me.
Oh God. But I don't think I'm the average type of Korean girl here, like in the texting area.
I
Cause
see. But what about
I
based on everything you learned about your friends that you heard from your friends? Like, what do
but
you
I
think?
think average Korean girls um see this relationship in a green flag according to the frequency of text messages they receive from the boy.
So the
Yeah,
more the frequent, the more the green flag. Like the
Yeah.
more. Are you
this
serious?
is
Wow.
this is why I barrage my dates with texts after the first date, man.
Mhm.
I think it's the opposite here in the states. I don't know about the opposite, but I think there's a balance. It's not the more frequent you text, the better. It's like the optimal amount you text, the best. Like if you do go
Oh.
like more than like 10 times in a single day, that's too much. Like it's probably gonna
What do
scare
you
the
think,
bejesus
Rachel?
of that.
Honestly, in Korean standards, I think 10 times is pretty low.
In
Yeah.
a day, in one day,
Yeah, in
Yeah,
one day.
it's really low.
after the
Right,
first date,
right.
after the first date.
Yeah.
Yeah, see
Oh
what I mean? It's really
wow,
different, man.
that is really different. That's a huge difference.
That's been the biggest adjusting thing for me when I started dating in Korea. Even for like all of our common friends that study in the US,
Mhm.
like whenever we meet, we talk about this so much. Or like, am I texting enough? Did I not text enough? Did I
Mhm.
text wrong? So it's like so much more emphasis like put on this.
And Rachel, you like that too? Like you more
No.
frequent? Oh, okay. So
No.
that's why you
Not
see you on the average.
after. Well, if I'm really in a relationship, I really
Mhm.
like texting and talking a lot with my boyfriend. Like maybe a couple of months later, but like in the beginning of the stage, I don't really know this guy, so I don't want to like have text messages with a guy I don't really know for like a whole day. So I think I
Mm,
prefer maybe like 2 or 3 days, so like one time. 그러니까 뭐라고 해야 되지? 2, 3일에 한 번.
One time every 2-3 days.
Yeah.
mm.
I think that's the best frequency for me
I
after
see.
the first date.
Yeah. I feel like it's so like girl dependent. Like why don't we
It is
just
very
like
really
why don't we
dependent.
just like explicitly say like, oh, how many times do you prefer that I text you? So that's not a guessing game anymore. It'd be so much easier. But I guess it also
Oh,
shows like in how frequently you text, like what kind of person you will also
Yeah,
be in the relationship too.
yeah.
So maybe you just let that like true self come out.
But sometimes when I have like the most funniest part is
mm-hmm.
like as a dude in this situation, like you're what I was always thought of was like I was pressured to like keep the conversation going,
Mm-hmm.
and at the same time make sure that I'm not like pressuring her to like keep like talking or texting with
Oh,
me when she doesn't
right.
want to. So it's a really thin line because you don't really know. It's really hard to determine, through
Right.
texting. If it was a call, it's really a lot more obvious.
Yeah, I
But
think
맞아.
the good rule of thumb is you should just imitate the cadence of the partner or that you're
right,
texting.
right.
Like, so if she texts back after 2 or 3 days, then you text back after 2 or 3 days.
No, but the
Uh,
issue is like if you do that, sometimes they'll go like, "Why didn't you contact me?" I was like, "Well, because you kind of stopped,
then you should
answering me
just do.
back." Like,
What about this rule? Then if you do double the amount of cadence, so if she texts in 2 to 3 days, you text back within a day.
oh, that's a good rule. Okay,
That's a good rule.
that's going in
Oh.
my rule book.
I
Okay,
see. 맞아, 맞아. So that you
twice as
kind of
much.
twice as much. So you do proportionately to the girl.
Oh
Okay,
You know?
okay.
God. 정말
어.
남자들도 데이트하기가 너무 힘들겠다.
아 힘들어. 와,
I'm
Well,
sorry.
she didn't
stressful.
On
know.
behalf of
Rachel
girls.
didn't
Stressful.
know. Rachel thought we had it easy.
Yeah.
It's very
See?
tactical for men.
Oh God. 진짜.
Communication is important in the end.
Yeah.
It is really hard. It's supposed to be hard. I mean, you're like just
Not,
met this person. How are you supposed to know how
yeah.
to communicate or what communicates best with this person?
Yeah,
So
none of
Yeah.
us said that as a condition, red flag or green flag, but throughout this entire conversation, almost all the green flags and red flags have to do with communication.
it, that, but that essentially boils down to any human relationship, honestly, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's true. I feel like a lot of our podcasts, John, just end up with like we go to specific concept and then we make it a very general learning.
Yeah, we are very shallow, man.
we go very general. Like we go like,
Oh,
oh
okay,
yeah,
okay.
communication is the baseline
Uh,
for every human relationship, which is very true.
That's another resume line right there.
Yeah, it's like a kind of like an Aesop's
resume
fable.
line.
Resume line.
소통 능력이 뛰어납니다.
맞아, you go with an example of like, oh yeah, in work I did this and I did this project and like we communicate this way. In the end, I learned communication is very
Yeah.
important in every professional relationship and
God
project that we
dang,
manage.
man. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Ah.
That's such a resume thing.
아무튼. All right. Well, we're at the hour. I want to respect everyone's time here. That was fun. Maybe we should like continue this subject.
I learned a
Great.
lot.
Like with a different topic, like a narrower topic. But yeah, let's say our goodbyes, guys. Say bye to the listeners. Hang on a little bit because like I need to capture the audio, but say bye to the listeners.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah,
I
it was
learned a
fun.
lot today.
All right, yeah, everyone's